Okay, yeah, first things first, just dawned on me, and it's kind of like, I guess, extra motivation to get my fridge replaced is the fact that it is dying, and I was like, oh my gosh, if I want to start doing a heck of a lot more videos of the game with Ken, the fridge makes so much noise that I would have to start timing the videos a lot more. So I'm thinking, you know what, maybe this is just a good idea to get rid of the fridge. Yeah, I mean, it's in really rough shape. Anyways, so yeah, Ken did a tutorial with me a few days ago, so that went really well. Hopefully I recorded it properly. Haven't watched them since, and it's interesting that I kind of feel so unprepared. It's not funny, and from what I've been reading, that's exactly what the Russians were like, completely unprepared. I think they had several warnings, and I think his name was Radko Dmitriev. I don't know if he just didn't listen to the warnings or whatever, but yeah, he was like didn't reinforce certain positions. And anyways, I'll go through just a few things before, because I think maybe the next video of this game is probably going to be, well, the guns will no longer be silent. I think Ken will be several days from now, hopefully. Give me more time to whatever, but no, if he's smart, he would do it right away. Anyways, yeah, I think the next video will be like he'll be sending me his moves, and then wondering whether or not I want to supply reinforcements and so on and so forth. So that'll be like, my counterattacks and everything. Anyway, so what I was started to try to think about, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually connecting with Sun Tzu, and maybe this really is starting to rub off on me. Like I said, I'm using Sun Tzu as the rule book, and when I get into the specifics for entering moves and so on and so forth, that's when I'm going to resort to Der Weltkrieg, obviously. I mean, what the hell? You're supposed to, I'm not going to send Ken some crazy, cryptic freaking message, and then I'd be like, yeah, that meant, send the 22nd Infantry Division to there. I mean, as if. Anyways, so Ken and I more or less had our version of the Dear Willie, Dear Nicky conversation, which was awesome, because I think it's going to be, for me, remember, I mean, we're both of us are having our own agenda for playing. I mean, we both want to have fun, but I mean, we're both finding ways to get our own whatevers. But already we were having that other talk of each of us talking about seeing, strategies and so on and so forth. I'm not saying helping each other, but you know what I mean? We were having that good friendly banter, the exact same stuff chit-chat that I have at conventions when I play non-tournament games with the miniatures, and also afternoons with a buddy type games. That type of banter where we're still competitive, but we're still also talking about the game and being helpful that way, and talking about strategies, and then clicking it to historical things. It was so nice to talk to Ken about we were talking about trenches, and then he would, I would mention something, he was like, oh yeah, and then he would be mentioning something about something historically, and I was like, oh my god, you're paraphrasing exactly what I heard. Anyways, I was just loving all these. I was like, okay, we haven't even started playing. I was like, well, we have in a way, but I was just like, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. So anyways, Sun Tzu, I swear to flip it. Like I said, now I'm like a hallelujah. I just love you to bits, Sun Tzu. He mentions often about having to know your enemy, or be like your enemy, or whatever like your enemy. And that's when I went back to the Sun Tzu, some of the quotes, because when I was looking here, I don't even know if you guys can see what the hell, whatever. But I'm telling you, now that I start doing things, these forceps, I just feel like, yeah, if I was like Wolverine, screw the claws, man. I would want to do like a quick flick of the wrist and out come my forceps. So that would be way more cool for me. Yeah, I'm getting sidetracked again. Anyways, so what I wanted to, when I was looking here, I was like, let's try to be the Germans, like emulate the Germans. I understand the Russian rail network is pathetic compared to the German rail network, and also I can't do certain things that the Germans can do, which is, you know, for example, they can use, they can put 2 divisions across their single tracks. I can't do that type of stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, when I've played the Germans, I've always relied on the rail network. And so what I'm going to start trying to do is the Russians. And I've never done that really when I've played the Russians. I haven't relied on the rail network. I've always gone, well, I just, you know, you hear it banging in your head all the time when you read stuff. And I'm like, well, that's like, oh yeah, there was another Sun Tzu quote that I've forgotten. Yeah, hold on, I'll find it quickly, because it does connect with this. And I was, oh, it's one of my favorite ones. Can you imagine what I would do if I could do all I can? And I was like, I just love that one. And I was like, yes. In other words, maximize your opportunities. And so that's what I'm trying to do, that way of looking at it. And I have not been doing that in all the other games I've played as the Russians in World War I. I constantly do not maximize my opportunities. So that's the way I'm looking at it. And I guess to bring it to the next level, I'm thinking, well, to maximize your opportunities this way is maybe to think like the Germans when you were playing the Germans, and rely on your rail network. So here go the Sun Tzu quotes, which I think reinforce this bit. One is, going to try and, where am I here? Oh yes, to know your enemy, obviously, some people already know these ones. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. So I'm taking it that way, like become your enemy in thinking about rail network stuff. It is easy to love your friend, but sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is to love your enemy. Yet again, I'm not saying it's like a direct whatever, but it's still streaming me that way of trying to, you know, anyways, it's, for me, it's clicking. Know your enemy and know yourself, and you can fight 100 battles without disaster. And I'm thinking, okay, so anyways, that's where I'm going yet again. What else? My quickie little notes. At least I'm starting to try to narrow my mind rather than just splintering off every 5 seconds when I start doing this. Yes, I said I'm going to do that. Excuse me, Mail. My main attempt also is to try to figure out, and yet again I'm going to have to rely on the rail network, is find some spots where I can place reserve hubs, hopefully. Because I don't know where the problem areas are going to pop up. So yet again, I also understand I can't keep reacting every time to what Ken does. I have to be the conductor. Or try to be the conductor, which is hard. I mean, both of us are trying to grab the microphone, for crying out loud. Or, well, I guess the conducting stick. And then the last thing, when I was looking up on, like I said, with the Russian rail network and so on and so forth, there's this guy named Ivan Blosh, I think. I'm not sure if that's the way you pronounce him. But he wrote a book on war stuff and whatnot, and you know what, I'm not sure, like I just starting to figure out about him. Holy F, man, try to buy his book on Amazon or through eBay. It's in the public domain, for crying out loud. The guy wrote the goddamn thing in like 1870 or something, but try to get a proper copy of it. Oh my god, it's ridiculously expensive, and this is going to be an expensive month for me. Oh my god, I just found out a $630 bill for my bike. I'm like, but you know, welcome to real life. Yeah, so oh my god, and this is the thing, he was in charge of the Russian rail network. He was a logistics expert or something. I'm like, what? So that's why I was like, okay, I got to read his book. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what it's about really, but I was like, okay, it's obviously going to be about war and logistics, I would assume. And boink. So there we go. Yeah, in an odd way, I do feel prepared. In an in an unprepared way or whatever, I feel pretty good. So as long as I just stay focused, which may sound silly. Oh well.